In this video, we're talking about 5 tips that will help you instantly improve your tank gameplay. But before we get started, my name is Coach Carson and I am a Grandmaster support player. I have coached many people and helped them rank up and learn more about the game. If you enjoy this video, hit that like and subscribe button. Let's jump right into it. Tip number 1 is playing with your team. Too many tanks gameplay looks like this. In order to be successful on the tank role, you need to make sure that you're playing with your team. But what exactly does that look like? Playing with your team simply means playing in the area of the map that your team can actively help you follow up in. Now, this is going to look different for each tank. You got to understand, playing with your team does not mean that you need to be playing right next to them. It just means that the rest of your team needs to be able to use their resources, which is their damage, their healing, their cooldowns, etc., to help you. So if you're playing Reinhardt, it might mean that you are playing close to your teammate. But if you're playing a dive tank like Winston, it'll look different. All that you need to worry about is that, are you in a position where you can be supported by the rest of your team? So if we look at this example, this is a great example of a tank that overextended. You see our Winston here went for a dive attempt, but nobody really can follow up. The Zen can follow up because he can actively shoot the Orisa or the Soldier. Follow up does not necessarily mean that they have to shoot the same person that you are engaging on. It just means that they are there to help you with the fight. But if we look, our Zen can follow up, but our Ana cannot, our Widow is not and cannot, and our Genji is not and cannot. Therefore, this dive attempt is terrible. This tank is not playing with their team. And if we look at what happened, they're dead. If you can learn to play with your team more, your tank gameplay will immediately improve. Let's move on to tip 2. Tip 2 is using natural cover. If you don't use natural cover, your gameplay probably is going to look like this. Using natural cover will significantly help you climb on any role. The reason for this is because natural cover adds so much consistency to your gameplay. You will die less and get significantly more value. But why is cover usage so important on the tank role? Cover usage allows you to do your job so much better. Your job as a tank is to take space for your team or to hold space for your team. And if you use cover, you're going to be able to do that job significantly better. But how exactly should we be using that cover? And this brings me to a concept called time to kill. So if we're here, if our Reinhardt is here or our tank is playing here and we need to get to this corner, it's only going to take us about 1 second, we'll just say for sake of easy numbers, to get to that cover, correct? Really quick, really easy access to cover. However, if we're playing over here, let's just say that this door is not available and we need to get to this corner over here, we're going to have to travel all this distance in this open space to get to where we want to be. So instead of the 1 second, right? It's going to take us about, 3 to 4 seconds. And that 3 to 4 seconds is 3 to 4 seconds that we're going to be taking this big word right here. If you can actually read my handwriting, damage. And if we're taking damage and we take too much, we're going to die. And what happens when we die? We lose space. And when we lose space, we lose the game. So that is a big no. You do not want to be standing here. So when you're using cover, try to stand as close to the corner as you possibly can. Now you can stop being a foolish tank who just constantly goes in and dies and doesn't do their job. Use natural cover to play your life and do your job even better. Let's move on to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is to stop shooting the enemy tank. Often, you're going to get significantly more value if you shoot anyone but the enemy tank. Now, this doesn't mean that you shouldn't shoot the enemy tank. For example, if the tank is isolated from their team and you know you can secure a kill on them, or if you cannot reach the enemy squishies without dying, and shooting the tank is the only option available. However, 90% of the time, you should be shooting anyone but the enemy tank. There are a few reasons for this. First, tanks are called tanks for a reason. They are good at absorbing damage and sustaining through it. Shooting them allows their team to have much more space than your team because the tanks rely on their own team to hold and to take space. So often, the best way to kill a tank is to indirectly kill them by shooting the squishies that are supporting the enemy tank. This will also help your team create more space because you are pressuring the squishies that want to hurt your team, which creates more space for your team. Second, you get significantly less ult charge by shooting the tank. All tanks in Overwatch have a passive where if you shoot them, you generate less ult charge. This means each of your bullets are getting less value by shooting a tank. And if you shoot a squishy, you are more likely to secure kills because each bullet does more damage proportionally to their health bar. Third, by shooting the enemy tank, you are giving free ult charge to the enemy supports. Support support ults are some of the strongest ults in the game, and you can do your part by not shooting the enemy tank. Now, if you can learn to stop shooting the enemy tank and focusing on the tank trade, you will get so much more value and more wins. Now, let's move on to tip number 4. Tip number 4 is to stop wasting your cooldowns. So many tank players throw out their cooldowns without any thought as to why you should be using your cooldowns. See, the job of the tank role is to take space or hold space, and your cooldowns are what actually allow you to complete that job. Now, because of this, often you want to be using your cooldowns with the intention of taking or holding space. Imagine I'm playing Zarya and I want to push forward to actually take some space. Now, if I don't have any bubbles, chances are I'm going to die. I'm going to take too much damage. I'm not going to have my bubbles to sustain, and I'm just going to die. However, if I have bubbles available, I'll be able to take that space, and I'm going to make it highly uncomfortable for the enemy team. Also, imagine I'm defending and I'm playing Orisa, let's say. If the enemy team wants to push up on me and take space from my team, I can use my cooldowns to help sustain through their push and hold the space. But if I wasted all of my cooldowns before the fight, they're going to walk right through me and just kill me. Tank cooldowns should not be wasted. They're designed to help you do your job. Use them to take space or to hold space. Now, if you can learn this, your tank gameplay will become so much more effective. Let's move on to the last tip. Tip number 5. Tip number 5 is to take space sequentially. See, as a tank, it's your job to take space. However, I see so many tank players go all in and throw caution to the wind. Now, if that's you, your gameplay might look something like this. The best way to take space is to take it sequentially. Use your cooldowns to get from one part of the map to another. Once you're there, stop, let your supports get you healed, and let your cooldowns reset. Then you can move to the next part of the map. Now, to understand this better, let's look at an example. So what does it mean to take space sequentially? So if we just draw this out, right now our Reinhardt is at this corner. Now, the wrong thing to do would just be to go forward and press W key, throwing caution to the wind, right? We talked about that. The right thing to do would be to go from this safe spot, and the reason it's safe is because we have this wall as cover. So we go from this safe spot to the next safe spot. That could be this, because this could be used as cover, or it could be into hotel, or it could be into the area back here around by the stairs. So all that matters is that we're not just going straight in and W keying without using any cover or anything like that. We're taking the map slowly and sequentially. And this could apply to any tank. Maybe I'm playing Winston and I go from here to here, but then I can jump up to the high ground and control this area. What this is doing is it's allowing me pockets and like time where I can stabilize and let my resources come back without taking a ton of damage. See, if I just go straight down, I'm going to be taking so much damage the whole way through and I have no time to stabilize. So I'm just going to let this play and let's see what happens. So we go from one cover to the other and we're letting our Ana heal us up. Then we go from another corner to the other, and you can see even our Ana is taking space sequentially. They go from here to this cover. Now that I have gone to this cover, I'm able to close the distance on the Bastion and get a pin on him. Take space sequentially. Don't just go all at once. If you can learn to apply these 5 tips to your gameplay, you're going to see immediate improvement. But they're not easy to implement, so just take your time and don't get frustrated. Also, one last tip that I forgot to share that's crucial for your gameplay. Tip number 6, like and subscribe my videos so you can continue to be better at Overwatch. Thanks for watching. Coach Carson out. Hey! Don't click off this video. If you stayed till the end of the video, I just want to express my gratitude for you. Thank you for supporting this channel as I learn and grow as a content creator. I'm constantly trying to find ways to make better content for you that will help us become better people and gamers. Remember the 3 B's. A better you is a better gamer is a better world. Make sure to go out and just encourage someone today to be themselves and always strive to be a better person. Also, remember that every single failure that you encounter on your path is an opportunity to grow and learn. Don't give up on your dreams. Keep moving forward and staying positive. Coach out for real this time.